Anything exciting happen in the news today? Anything big going on? I didn't really hear about anything. Oh yeah, Christian Freeland resigned. Finally. And you know what? I think that you can thank Donald Trump for that. Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on this video. What a day it has been today. I mean, this liberal government is falling apart at the seams. I mean, it is literally falling apart like your old high school t-shirt that you used to wear in gym class that you just can't seem to throw out. I mean, there's time to just throw it out, toss it aside. It's done. But some people cannot accept when something is done, like Justin Trudeau. You are so done. How can you even hang on at this point? But I want to talk a little bit about Christian Freeland and my take on what happened today. I really think I'm not trying to be some Trump cheerleader or whatever, but I like what I see nowadays when I hear him speak. I can tell you that much. I think that he single-handedly had a hand in making that woman resign. I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it was just a domino effect because quite clearly in her resignation letter that she wrote, I won't read the whole thing. I'll read the first little bit of it where she goes, "It's been my honor, the honor of my life to serve in government working for Canada and Canadians." Listen, there was a big portion of time where you didn't do F all for us. And you know what I'm talking about. We have accomplished a lot together. On Friday, you told me you no longer want me to serve as your finance minister and offered me another position in the cabinet. This is written like how a jilted lover writes, you know? Upon reflection, I have concluded that the only honest and viable path for me is to resign from the cabinet. I must leave you. Farewell. Don't cry. To be effective, a minister must speak on behalf of the prime minister and with his full confidence. In making your decision, you made clear, I no longer credibly enjoy that confidence and possess the authority that comes with it. You don't like me anymore. You don't have faith in me. You don't want me anymore. You know, the funny thing is, like, those two were like friggin' conjoined twins all throughout everything, all throughout the COVID BS. Those two stuck together. Those two would run you down with a horse. Those two would throw you out of Ottawa. All of Canada could descend on their doorstep, and those two would stick together side by side and put in the Emergencies Act. And I don't think enough people talk about that. Even Pierre Poilievre, who I respect a lot, he doesn't really bring that up. It's like the big elephant in the room that freedom minded people want to be acknowledged for. We are still suffering the consequences of what the COVID lockdowns and stupid mandates did to everybody, never mind the health effects going on now, and nobody is acknowledging it. It's like the elephant in the room that nobody speaks about. So when these people are crumbling, the liberal government that had a direct hand in doing what they did to Canadians and losing the respect of Canada all around the world, we're like, yeah, we're happy about it. Bye-bye, and don't let the door hit you on your big ass on the way out. But anyway, going back to this is why, getting back to the Trump thing here, for the past number of weeks, you and I have found ourselves at odds about the best path forward for Canada. Our country faces a challenge, and the incoming administration in the United States is pursuing a policy of aggressive economic nationalism, including a threat of 25% tariffs. I mean, there it is in black and white in her resignation letter. This tariff thing, I think, was the straw that broke the camel's back. This is the thing that tipped the bucket because I don't think that Trudeau and her could see eye to eye on this. I think that Freeland wanted to do like a David Eby type of thing, like stand up to Trump, which is such a joke. Like, you don't even stand up for businesses here. You don't care about businesses. Freeland always, all she does is keep talking about, we're doing great, our debt to GDP ratio is low or whatever, like our gross domestic product is more successful, it is higher than our debt or whatever. It doesn't look that way, it doesn't feel that way. And I saw a clip of David Eby, which I don't have handy right now, but talking about how he needs to stand up to Trump because these tariffs are going to be hard for Canadians. Yeah, they will, but you can sort your damn border out first. Danielle Smith, even though There's some things about her I like, some things I don't like. Even she's pouring in money, I think 29 million to strengthen and fortify the border and make sure that this crap isn't happening. And that's what Trump said. And if I was running the US, I'd be doing the same damn thing. So she's literally put this in her resignation letter, the threat of the 25% tariffs. And that is why I think this is the thing where Trudeau and her don't get along. We don't actually know what Trudeau wants to do. We don't know what his plan is because he never says anything about it. He hasn't really come out to speak about it. But he's all sort of noodling up to Mark Carney because that name is being bandied about quite a bit. Mark Carney is also one of those guys. He doesn't care about the working class. He doesn't care about the average working man. He cares about his own success and lining his own pockets and investing wherever that may take him. And he's a WEFer, as is Freeland, as is Trudeau. Freeland actually has a higher sort of ranking than Trudeau. She's actually kind of above him in the WEF sort of hierarchy of things. But so they're at odds, which is funny because they were like such conjoined twins in the past. And the thing is, what's funny about this is like, we're not a threat to the US. I mean, in a way, Trump just sees this as a joke. I mean, here's some things that he's been posting. Trump doesn't like her. That's the first thing. He keeps saying this. It's really quite funny. The great state of Canada is stunned as the finance minister resigns or was fired. It's true. We don't really know. A little bit of both. A little from column A, a little from column B. Fired from her position by the governor, Justin Trudeau. Her behavior was totally toxic and not at all conducive to making deals which are good for the very unhappy citizens of Canada. She will not be missed. And indeed, it is true. He don't like her that much.
Donald Trump has said that he doesn't like you very much in the past. What makes you the best person to lead the Canadian government's efforts here?
I think that President Trump will obviously speak for himself, and I would never put words in his mouth. But in my experience, President Trump respects strength, and he respects people and countries who are strong and clear in defending their countries. Is, I would say, threefold. One,
oh God, that's pretty funny. Just the way that's Melanie Jolie, the way she looks, it's hard to tell if she's like, yeah, you're shitting on Freeland and I find this really funny. You're finally getting at her because I don't like her that much either. Or maybe she's like, I don't know, proud of Freeland for hitting back or something. I don't know. Or just feeling, she just looks so smug and hilarious to me. But that's besides the point. So Trump is still going around mocking Canada as the 51st state. It is hilarious. We deserve all that crap because something needs to straighten us up. By Trump being so just very matter of fact about everything, it has got everybody in a hissy fit up here. Everybody's on edge. Anita Anand, as she's walking through, she's like, I need time to process. Yeah, you guys are done. You are so done. No one respects you as you guys sat on your high horse for so long. You know, it's just wonderful to see these people scurrying like ants everywhere, you know, but it's a disaster. And today the House of Commons was a bit of a disaster.
Mr. Speaker, the NDP leader is absolutely right. This cannot continue. This Prime Minister cannot go on like this. Housing costs have doubled. Food bank use has doubled. The debt has doubled. Gun crime has doubled. And now we face troubling tariff threats from a president who can see weakness coming from a mile away. The Prime Minister must leave this job, but there's only one person who can remove him, and that's the leader of the NDP. Will he put the country ahead of his pension and vote for a carbon tax election now?
That's an awful lot of power for one little turbinator to have. You know what also is very sad? That there's no sign of Freeland, no sign of Trudeau. This was the day that the fall budget was supposed to be announced. They were rolling out boxes. I don't know where they were going. But also what was very sad is Karina Gould. She always steps up. I mean, she's the Liberal Employee of the Year. She always is put in place, even when she was pregnant, to answer for whether they bring a Nazi into the House of Commons or for whether the finance minister resigns. Those two go into hiding, as Trudeau did in COVID, and they wheel this woman out to answer for it. And it's pathetic. And do you know what else is quite sad? Is that I don't think her mic was working.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I mentioned earlier, we are looking forward
What?
today to presenting the fall economic statement that is going to have a series of important measures for
Huh?
Canadians. At a time like this, it is important that all of us band together, united as Canadians.
You don't look so happy, do you? Oh, there's Marcy Ian. She doesn't look happy. She looks sad. Nobody's making good eye contact. You all look like the losing team.
To make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect the Canadian economy, protect Canadian.
Even her voice doesn't sound strong. She doesn't sound strong. How can you? This is the defeat. You're having to talk through defeat, to persevere through defeat. Your colleagues basically shat on you and hung you out to dry, Karina Gould, like they've done so many times. And I don't think it's going to be too long before you resign. And also Sean Fraser resigned, and he used to be the immigration minister, and now he's the housing minister. And he says he wants to resign because he wants to spend more time with his kids. And if you believe that, I mean, come on, I got a vaccine I'd like to sell you. Jimmy Dore always says that. That's a good line. But yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, like, that's a big deal that he resigned. But this does not even come close to Miss Chrystia Freeland. Let's go back and I'll show you a little bit of this interview here. So let me just remind you what Trump was saying in the first place and Trudeau's response to it. We all saw Trudeau run down to Mar-a-Lago in a heartbeat.
With Canada, and in particular Mexico, we have millions of people pouring into our country. You agree with that? I spoke with both. I spoke with Justin Trudeau. In fact, he flew to Mar-a-Lago within about 15 seconds after the call. And he was at Mar-a-Lago. We were having dinner talking about it. I said, you have to close up your borders because they're coming in the northern border too a lot. Not like the southern border, but they're coming in the Canadian border a lot. And drugs are pouring in. Almost as importantly, drugs are pouring in. Maybe more importantly, drugs are pouring in at levels never seen before, 10 times what we had. They're just pouring in. We can't have open borders. And I said to the president of Mexico and to Justin Trudeau, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to put tariffs on your country at about 25%.
You got to do something. You got to hit people in the pocketbooks. Otherwise, we'd go on like this for years and years of meandering about and not fixing anything. Get in there and fix something. Get in there and make a decision. You know, like, I don't know for how long these liberals talked about things, and it was all talk. Remember how much to this day, they still talk about dental care, and they talk about, well, fine, if you want to put in dental care, put it in, okay? You put it in, it's half-ass working, so good for you. Now move on to whatever else. You've done that. For the longest time, they talk about the school food program that doesn't serve any meals. It's a bureaucratic bullshit thing. For the longest time, they talk about $10 a day childcare. I don't know for how many years I've heard about that. Do you see that anywhere? Is there any $10 a day childcare? All they do is talk and talk about the problems they're going to fix, and they don't fix anything. You know, you can talk and talk, but now it's time for action. So here's Donald Trump's response to Doug Ford going, oh, you're not going to send the U.S. our energy. So
Second day in a row, Ontario Premier Doug Ford reiterated his threat to cut off energy supply to the U.S. in retaliation to Donald Trump's proposed tariffs.
You come and attack Ontario, you attack livelihoods of people of Ontario and Canadians. We're going to use every tool in our toolbox to defend Ontarians and Canadians across the border.
Trump responded to Ford's threat today, saying this.
Well, that's okay if he does that. That's fine. But the United States is subsidizing Canada. It's truly a subsidy, and we shouldn't have to do that.
And other provinces seem unwilling to withhold their energy from U.S. markets.
From the Alberta perspective, under no circumstances will Alberta agree to cut off oil and gas exports.
By the way, I won't threat Donald not to send electricity.
that's very revealing too. I mean, Danielle Smith is like, no, we're going to work together. Francois just looks scared. We're not going to mess with Trump. I mean, like, in a very simple way, he's just like, we're doing this. You can retaliate. It's not going to matter. And this is why he calls us the 51st state, right? So now Dominic LeBlanc is going to be the guy. He seems pretty happy about this. Let's just show you what Mr. Dum Dum Eby has to say.
The focus of myself and my colleagues along this table is the threat that's facing people in our respective provinces and territories, which is a very pressing and urgent threat to their jobs, their ability to pay the bills.
You're so
And
phony.
also a threat to Americans, to affordability for them, for their jobs.
So what are you going to do about it?
This threat of tariffs that occupied this table, even on a day when we saw a prominent resignation of a finance minister that I think many of us certainly had a good relationship with. I count myself among the premiers that did. Despite what's happening in Ottawa, we're focused on ensuring that we're the stable presence.
Oh, you are not. You're just a bunch of talk. You're just a bunch of blather, just a bunch of bluster. Well, Christopher Freeland, we will not miss you. You were horrible to Canadians. You and Justin. You've stepped aside, and it's time for Justin to do the same. And we got to wait for this ding-dong Jagmeet Singh to call the election. I mean, he is just like, he gets in bed with Justin and he's out, and he's in bed and then he's out, and he's in and he's out. He's like a freaking Stormy Daniels is what he is. You know, make up your mind and do what's right for this country. And I for one, am so happy to see her go. I mean, they say she says she's going to run again in her riding in what is it, University Rosedale or whatever her riding is. Go ahead. Go ahead and try and be an MP. Will the constituents vote you in? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know if she's popular in her local riding. I don't know. Well, let's just have some final words from Pierre. I mean, is it really all up to Jagmeet? Is there no one that can supersede this or usurp this decision? Is it really up to the Turbinator?
Is being held in office by one man, Jagmeet Singh. A fifth of Liberal MPs have written a letter for him to resign. His deputy prime minister has walked out on him. His housing minister has quit. That on top of numerous other female ministers who stormed out after his appalling mistreatment and abuse and dishonesty.
One video you guys should watch if you haven't is Jordan Peterson interviewed somebody who was a parliamentary secretary to Trudeau. She was a black lady. Her name escapes me right now, but that was a fascinating, very fascinating interview. She was just treated as a complete token. It was pretty brutal.
Dishonesty towards them. 80% of Canadians have lost confidence in this prime minister. So why is Jagmeet Singh making the entire country wait for him to get his pension? That is the question today.
I don't know. The guy gets his pension February 20th. Call the damn thing then. Just call it. Call it. Anyway, pretty big news. We'll see what happens in the days to come. No more Christopher Freeland. Who are we going to make fun of? Who's going to do all the twitching? Who's going to be the new Twitch? And like smooth like silk. Trump is just like, you don't do this, you don't clean up your border, tariffs. That's it. That's how you make decisions. Like, I got to hand it to him for that. If you're got some value out of this video today, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I make videos whenever I can. I do have a day job, so because I can't make a living being a YouTuber right now, but I do love doing it. My heart is in it, and I can't help but make these videos when my day is done because I enjoy it so much, and there's so much going on. So if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video today. We'll catch you next time. Thank you.